Well, good morning. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. Arm day today. Just hitting arms, triceps and biceps. Not doing anything else. Of course, we're going to do some ab work, but we're going to smash these arms hard today. They're in for a beating. They need it. They deserve it. Already did tricep work like you saw. Got those nice and warmed up. I always like to start warming up the triceps gradually as I move through those cable extensions. I really like doing it with the cable machine. I find it's easier to gradually warm up the elbows themselves and make sure everything gets, ready to go for the rest of that workout. Even though we're not really using our elbows and the tendons there to push that weight like we do with a tricep at all, we're pulling that weight up when we do these bicep curls. I still find that if I don't take my time warming them up adequately, we can be in for some problems later on. Okay, first set here. Big squeeze. Come on.
That's right, everybody. Good morning. We are doing an arm day today, and we're actually going to be talking about arm hypertrophy and how much you actually need to be working out your arms in a given week. Now, when we talk about volume here, we need to define what it is we're talking about. And I'm going to throw up 6 definitions in the next couple seconds here. Feel free to skip ahead and see all 6 of them at once and read them for yourself, but I'll go through them one at a time for you. The first definition that we're going to look at is maintenance volume. And this is the amount that you're going to need to train in order to keep the muscle mass that you currently have, meaning what you need to do in order just to maintain, not grow, not lose anything. Next up, we're going to have our minimum effective volume. And this is going to be the amount of volume you need to train in order to make any kind of noticeable difference in your muscle mass. So if you're looking to put on any kind of volume, any kind of mass, any kind of strength, this is what you're going to need to do at a bare minimum in order to actually achieve any measurable progress. Third, we've got our maximum adaptive volume, and this is going to be the average amount of volume over time that will most likely lead to the best long-term success for your gains. We have to use averages here. Not every single person is going to be the same. We've said that so many times before. So this is going to be an average range of training volume that's going to most likely lead to your best long-term gains, and you're going to have to figure out where that number exactly lands for your individual body. And so that takes us to our maximum recoverable volume. And this is going to be the volume that is probably most likely the volume you can train with on a regular basis and still achieve recovery and gains over time. Doing more than this will almost certainly lead to an overall net negative in your ability to recover and grow. Now, if we want to really hone in on a specific muscle and allow it to take the primary focus in our overall training regime, well, we can make that the primary priority for our training program. You'll see we have 2 groupings of numbers here, both for the maximum adaptive volume and the maximum recoverable volume. These 2 sets of numbers are only for if that muscle is going to be something that we prioritize over everything else, meaning other muscle groups are going to have to be deprioritized. Maybe that means you only do 1 back day a week. Maybe that means you only do 1 leg day a week in order to give whatever that muscle group is some additional volume on specific days of the week, and thereby increase the priority of that muscle group to give it more focus and attention. Now, a word of caution for you all. These numbers are truly for intermediate lifters, people who have been lifting for at least 3 years generally, who have been serious about their lifting and made progress beyond those newbie gains to really understand their body, how it works, and develop a baseline of muscle mass and strength. And as we've already stated, these numbers are averages. Therefore, your numbers, your needs could be higher or lower than what we're presenting here, and you need to figure out exactly where it is you're going to land on this spectrum. My hope, though, is that these numbers can give you some guidance in perhaps developing your own plan, your own training regimen, and thereby do the exercises that are going to be the most beneficial and enjoyable to you, with as much guidance as possible into the best practices for setting up the sets and rep ranges for the various muscle groups. So, what exactly do we need? Well, as you can see here for our biceps, we're going to need a minimum of 0 to 4 sets per week just to maintain whatever we have.
Yeah.
Now, don't get too caught up in it. If you miss something or you're off for a little while, you're not going to ruin all of your gains. Research has shown us that even without a week of working out, we're going to do just fine. But as we start to encroach on that 2-week mark, we're going to start to lose muscle mass slowly over time. Now, to minimally grow or maximally grow, we're going to need between 4 and 8, and then here's a big jump, 8 and 20 sets per week to really either grow a little bit or maximize how much we can grow in any given week if we are also training the rest of our body in equal parts. Now, we can certainly extend far beyond that. We could go up to 20 and 26 sets per week for our maximum recoverable volume. But again, these are numbers that you're going to have to play with. You're going to have to figure out what works best for you and see where your set ranges land in order to maximize your growth and not stunt yourself by being too tired and unable to recover. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, if we are prioritizing the biceps over all of our other muscles, you can see here that from a adaptive volume standpoint, we can be looking to do 20 to 26 sets per week, but our maximum recoverable volume, if we're prioritizing biceps only, is going to be 26, potentially even more than 34 sets per week. If it were me, and I'm planning a full body split, which is what I normally do, I'm going to be going for somewhere between 8 and 20 sets per week for my biceps. And that includes work that we might be doing on our other pulling movements, not just our solely focused bicep work. Because when we're doing pulling movements, when we're doing our rows and our pull-ups, we are using our biceps to help pull us up there. Thus, if you're doing any back-focused work, you're certainly engaging your biceps. You're certainly using them, working them, and giving them some kind of training volume in order to exercise them even at a minimal level. For your triceps, these numbers are not going to be too terribly different. We're looking at a bare minimum of 0 to 4 sets per week, and realistically, probably somewhere between 6 and 16 sets per week to really grow at a maximal level and still be able to recover. Of course, we could go up to even 20 sets per week, but we're really risking not being able to adequately recover and slowing down our overall growth by doing just too much, when a little bit less would give us more gains in the short term as well as the long term. But just like with our biceps, if you're doing any other pushing movements, bench presses, overhead presses, push-ups, those types of movements are going to exercise the biceps too, and you're going to get secondary gains from those exercises in those triceps. So there you have it. These are the amount of sets per week that we really want to be targeting for both our biceps and our triceps. It's not a perfect science, but these numbers have been shown to be accurate and true in the weight room for most lifters who've been lifting for a couple years at this point. A big shout out to Dr. Mike and the team over at RP Strength for compiling this information. I'm going to leave a link down in the comments to these articles where they go a lot more in depth into these rep ranges, where it all comes from, how they found them, and even breaks down a bunch of different exercises for you if you're looking to design your own routine with these types of set ranges in your weekly splits. I really hope you guys appreciate this information and this breakdown, and if you have more questions, drop it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Get those questions out there, and let's figure out the right plan for you so that you can do the best work possible when you're in the gym every day and every week. Let me know which muscle group you guys would like me to cover next with this type of information, and I'll plan on seeing you on the next gym vlog. See you then.